Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Rewind. We are live right now with round number 1. We are going to be watching Zach Krekeler battle Apsyy in the slower cube. If you don't know the slower cube, we're soon gonna talk all about it. And today I am joined by Best Pal Al. Hello, Al. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. We just had a good time commentating over Apsyy's draft, and now we've got round one with Apsyy versus Zach, so it should be an interesting match.
Yeah, so as usual, we're gonna talk about the decks while they play their first few turns, and then we're gonna turn on the match and see how it is going. So I guess we can start talking about Apsyy's deck first, since we kind of saw him starting the draft, and it was a pretty interesting draft with a pretty interesting result. So what do you think about the deck list?
So the deck list is Camerupt, Manectric, and Hariyama, which is very interesting because at the start of the draft, Apsyy was very much leaning into Armaldo. I think his pack one pick one was Armaldo EX.
Correct.
And there was a lot of fossil support. That's all been chucked out the window. We're playing stage ones. We're gonna come in fast and aggressive, and I think that's generally a pretty successful strategy in Cube. If you can just keep your opponent on the back foot.
Yeah, I think there's no inherent synergy on those three lines, but just playing stage ones and like they are just aggressive cards, and you just want to attack with them and kill your opponent as soon as possible. There's, I guess, a bit of synergy when we're talking about Nectar EX and not Armada, Hariyama EX. Both cards can lock stadiums in play, so we have a Curse Stone in Apsyy's deck, a card that can sometimes win the game by itself. A very, very powerful stadium card that puts damage counters on all of your Pokemon with powers. And we'll see what Zach can do about that. And Zach is playing a Warring deck. What do you think about Zach's deck?
Zach's deck is very scary. He's got the power circulation Celio in conjunction with the Crush Draw Walrein. So great energy excel, and also a power circulation Mantine. It's partnered the Walrein with Mightyena from Legends Awakened and the EX. Both are really great stage 1 attackers, diversing his typing. And he's got the 4 special dark energy in there, so Mightyena can really hit those numbers if you wanted to. But perhaps the scariest thing is the two double colorless energy on the Walrein EX is going to get powered up very quickly.
Yeah, that Warring EX can come out swinging out of nowhere. He has acceleration and good special energy. He have good recovery to use that Warring EX multiple times. I think there's only a recovery card is a singular Super Rod, which is fine. You can use the Warring EX twice. One thing I don't love about this deck is the double weakness to fighting, because Mightyena and the Warring EX plus Team Aqua's Warring are all weak to fighting. And wouldn't you know, Apsyy is playing a third of his deck is fighting type. Well, the Hariyamas are all pretty strong. And this is one of the matchups where if we see a Curse Stone locked in the active by Disconnect or by Commending Aura, I think it's the name of the Pokebody on Hariyama EX, it is going to be hard for his opponent to get out of the situation. And coming back to the game here, we see that Zach kind of had a slow start, and then he went into a Sableye, which is kind of saving everything, because he was pretty bricked, and now he got to use a Bridget, put a lot of Pokemon on his bench, and he has a decent hand. And while this Sableye lives, it's gonna keep building value, keep putting more supporters into play, and setting up for probably the Delcatty, Ruby and Sapphire's energy draw Delcatty, which is gonna set up for the rest of the game. Meanwhile, Apsyy already has a turn 2, I think, Manectric EX.
Yes, turn 2. It's unfortunate that Apsyy wasn't able to get a Holon Mentor using that Transceiver in the deck here. Mentor would be really good, but opting for the Lass instead
Yeah, he never got to draft a mentor, right? He only got the adventure and the last.
Yes, he never saw one. And opening hand had Uxie in and a research, and there wasn't much going on. So I think Apsyy played their hand down, trying to set up with Uxie, still holding on to that research. They don't feel like it's worth pitching this hand just yet.
Yeah, he is now using Holland Last, which is kind of a weird card. You count the number of prizes on both players' fields, and then you look at that many cards and take all energy cards and put into your hand. And this is a weird turn because how many cards does Apsyy take? Yeah, he only takes 2 energy, which he might have seen more, but well, he has a research in hand, and he probably wants to use that research next turn. He has like a few weird turns here because his opponent deck is mainly weak to this Hariyama, and he really doesn't want to discard the Hariyama if possible. Because I don't know, his recovery is good. It's a Lure Ball and a Clara, right? He does have like Versity here and stuff to get it back, but the perfect way to set up on this game is to like use your Hariyamas, use a Clara, get 2 Hariyamas back, keep using them. And if he starts discarding them early, it's going to be a bit awkward to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But leading with the disconnect is never a bad way to start a game.
Yeah.
And the camera up's already established. I have to imagine Apsyy's just going to attach and then research next turn.
Yeah.
Possibly even going for a mega shot with this Manectric, but might be a bit ambitious.
Yeah.
What...
It's always weird, right? Because when you have Manectric EX, of course, disconnect. When you attack, you lock your opponent out of trainers except supporters. So they can't use like tools, stadiums, items. But so you don't really want to break the lock because the more you disconnect, the worse it gets to your opponent. They can't like really play the trainers that have been in their hands for a while. But there are the second attack on that card is Mega Shot. You snipe 80 damage, which is a lot of damage. 80 damage is a crazy number in this power level to snipe. You have to discard your energy, and I think most important of all, you have to break your lock. So there are moments where you're surely going to Mega Shot. Maybe this next turn is going to be one where you kill your opponent's Delcatty and try to like stop their setup. Or maybe not. Maybe you still like, maybe you focus the warring. Maybe you just keep the lock going. You don't really have an answer to that warring if you do Mega Shot something else. So, you also don't get one shot from that. So, it's a weird turn. It's gonna be a weird sequence of turns for Apsyy.
It does feel a bit greedy taking out the Delcatty at this point when there's a 150 HP wall rain building up on the bench.
Yeah. Do you think it's the right place to Mega Shot the warring and then kind of ignore the Sableye, maybe?
I think it's a weird one. It might be the right play, because, I mean, if this wall rain comes in and hits you for 80, and then with the Icy Aura, you basically have to retreat, or you're getting knocked out going back into Zach's turn.
Yeah.
So you can't really stand toe-to-toe with this wall rain. If you can snipe 80 on the wall rain, then Zach would have to commit an attachment to the Sableye to get the retreat off.
And then he can't Ice Throw in the same turn, right?
Exactly. I think Zach's only remaining switch out is the Escape Rope, because we already see the Float Stone on the Delcatty.
Yeah.
And at that point you can just promote the Uxie, or... Although I guess the Warrain's also got a sniping attack, so if Zach does find the Escape Rope, it could be a bit awkward. But I do think getting 80 damage on the Warrain is pretty important.
Yeah.
But we do see the research, and Apsyy's found a Makuhita off of that, which is very important because Warrain EX is weak to fighting. So, like Davy was saying, Hariyama is probably the go-to attacker here. But it looks like Apsyy's opted just to keep the disconnect lock going, take that first prize on the Sableye, and start powering up this Makuhita on the bench.
Yeah. One thing that was really awkward is that he top decked a Lure Ball, so he had to discard the Lure Ball to the research, which was one of the ways he was going to recover the Hariyama. So now we're seeing this warring go into the active. Of course, Zach has DCEs that he could attach to the Warring and start ice throwing, which would be absolutely devastating for Apsyy because Manectric would die with against an Icy Aura. But it doesn't seem like he did because he already used the energy draw, and that's a hand full of nothing, I would say.
Definitely coming up short on the draw for Zach. There are 2 DCE in the deck, so the odds were reasonable to hit it. But I don't think Zach's going to be too phased. It might just be a water arrow on the bench. Yeah, we see that. And then next turn, Ice Throw will be able to take the knockout on Manectric.
So it's surely not the time to disconnect here. You need to put an extra attachment on the Manectric for you to Mega Shot it. And there are ways to do it. Like you can Lucian the energy from your camera up and do it, because that hand is also pretty bad. You don't really want to use the Versus Seeker like this early, and surely you don't want to discard all of those cards. That's a lot of resources that would go down. So it's a few weird turns for both of these players. They are kind of at the same time failing to get what they want from their decks. So it's gonna be weird because Apsyy doesn't have another way to get an energy. I'm pretty sure only if he researches, right? Or I guess he can Versus Seeker for Holland last.
That might be the play we see here. We'll see. I do think Apsyy's deck is lacking Pokemon Search a bit. Oh, that's... so the Clara was discarded early. So now the Hariyama's coming back. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's pretty decent because the Hariyama can attack for 2. So you can use an attachment on your Manectric right now, and next turn you can do some stuff with maybe Lucian's Assignment.
Yes. Of course, the Wolverine's Ice Throw attack does 120 damage if the defending Pokemon's a fighting Pokemon. So Apsyy really doesn't want to go in with Hariyama until it's taking the knockout.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll just be knocked out before he can really do anything about it. But yeah, I think a lot of Apsyy's Pokemon search was actually fossil related. The fossil excavators, the Holon fossils.
Strange Caves.
Strange Cave, yeah. That's all gone. And the Anorith that could search for 2 more Anorith. Like, that's all gone. So the ball search he's got left is a bit lacking. Maybe that's why he's opted just for 3 stage 1s, because they're relatively easy to get going.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward build for sure. And we see that he actually attaches to the bench and chooses not to Mega Shot, keeping the lock going and putting some damage into that Warring, which might be useful, maybe not. So to talk a bit more about this Hariyama, because the attack is kind of awkward. Spirited Throw, if Hariyama has fewer remaining HP than the defending Pokemon, does 80 damage. So if it has more HP, it does only 50. 50 is not enough to knock it out, but right now, Warring is at 110, which is kind of 10 more than it needs to be. No, exactly the number it needs to be for Spirited Throw to get the knockout. So even if FC doesn't top deck an energy, you can still like Lucian's Assignment the energy from camera up, then take the 2 prize knockouts. And after that, Zach is quite screwed because that hand has pretty much nothing. And, well, his deck is mostly weak to fighting, and that Hariyama's not going down easily.
That being said, once the Manectric's down, Zach will have access to items again. So we've got a Dive Ball and a Rare Candy, so should be able to get into another Wolverine fairly quick. And the Super Rod, so can actually go straight back into Wolverine EX. If that's what he wants to
which
do.
Is weird, because he just attached to Puccina, right?
It might be he's not got the energy for a Wolverine EX right now. He's only got the Darks, which is why he's attaching to Puccina.
Yeah,
probably hoping that the energy draw finds him a Mightyena next turn.
Yeah, it's such an awkward couple of turns. Maybe he's even gonna Clef on next turn because maybe he needs a turn or 2 to just stop getting chunked by the cards. Wait, he attacked. So he's not going to Ice Throw. He's just gonna Water Arrow. So that's gonna hit the Makuhita for sure, right? No, it's gonna kill the Camel.
Interesting.
Yeah, those players are a few turns ahead of everyone because this is a very interesting match. because everything we thought they're going to do, they're not doing.
Yeah.
They're thinking one turn ahead of us. So
It is surprising because the camera up would be knocked out if they were to use overheat, so it was kind of a bit useless on
dead.
the bench anyway.
Yeah.
Um, you can attach dark metal to Warani X, can't you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am surprised, maybe feeling like committing that extra attachment to Warrain
It's not
would
worth
leave him
anymore.
with nothing to deal with the Hariyama, because Zach does know the Hariyama's in Apsy's hand.
Yeah, because
So
it
he's,
got cleared. Yeah.
yeah. No energy though, so if Apsy wants the knockout, it's retreat, Lucian's assignment, 1 energy, basically energy switch, and then throw with Hariyama. It's a very costly pay, but it probably is the better one. You can't just let this Warrain water arrow your whole bench.
Yeah. Like eventually, you're gonna lose this game of chicken because no player wants to attach multiple energy to their EXs. They are going to be discarded right away, knocked out right away. So yeah, there's I think the right place to retreat in Lucians. Yeah, which is probably what we're going to see. There's also a world where we just palm strike and try to get the heads to hit the 120. But yeah, there's a guaranteed knockout here. So there's no reason why we're not taking it. Lucian's assignment
Yeah.
moves an energy from one Pokemon to another. So Hariyama has 100 HP and Warring has 110. So it is a knockout with the Spirited Throw.
And it's definitely a bit awkward for Zach because the Mighty N is also weak to fighting, so this Hariyama is going to have a field day. The only attackers in Zach's deck that aren't weak to fighting is
It is
the
the
Crush
Crush
Draw.
Draw. Yeah, which is a card you
That's
really
it.
don't want to attack with, right? Because it is your energy accelerator. Well, the good news for Zach is that he's not item locked for the first time in like 2 or 3 turns. So he can start using the Rare Candy, Dive Ball, Super Rod, start doing the thing. But there's not a lot he can do this turn. I don't think he can attach 2 energy to the Warren EX again. So this might be Cleffa time.
It's definitely tough. Cleffa might be needed. It's just a shame this Cleffa requires energy attachment when Zach's already behind on attachments.
Yeah, he needs to start developing right now. And the other really awkward part is that he doesn't have the bench space to bench the Clef and the Mentine at the same time.
Going for the Spiritomb, I guess that's one way to get into Mightyena.
Yeah.
The Spiritomb can live against Hariyama unless
No, he
Palm Strike
can't.
lifts heads.
No, he can't. Because Darkness Grace, when you use it, you put 1 damage counter on Spiritomb, and the resistance is colorless and not fighting. So Spirited Throw just 3 for 50 is getting the knockout.
That's awkward.
It's really awkward.
I think the way for Zach to deal with this Hariyama is a special dark on the Poochyena, and then going into Mightyena EX with the Hyperclaws. I know that only does extra to stage 2.
Yeah,
There's no
only
good way.
There is no
There's no good way.
There's absolutely no good way for Zach to do this. He has to take 1 or 2 turns just to set up. Meanwhile, his opponent is on 3 prizes right now, so he's going to go down to 2 prizes after the probable Darkness Grace turn from Zach. So he has to do something and come back with like Warning Axe, takes a hit, and then retreats, and then gets out of like anything range. Because there's no Gust on Apsy's deck. There's only Mega Shot can take care of something in the bench. Zach is in a very precarious position. He doesn't have anything except for the Delcatty. So it's really awkward when you have to take like a turn of setup this late in the game while your opponent is playing a super fast deck.
Definitely tough, and both players off to pretty slow starts, but this Hariyama is just such a pain for Zach's deck to deal with. And there's already another Maki Heater on the bench.
Yeah,
It's
it's gonna be rough for Zach to come back this game. But we're playing a best of 3 tournament today. There's a chance of another game going a bit better for Zach. I think he's probably gonna evolve, yeah, into another Celio because he really wants to keep the Power Circ Celio in play to get the crush draw value, but it's quite awkward. We see now it's Apsyy's turn, and as we said, that's just a knockout right there. You just need to attack, and it's pretty awkward for Apsyy as well. Like that hand is not good. What do you do with it?
It's not good. It might just be Marley's
Versus
or
Seeker Clara or versus
I
Seeker?
don't know. Yeah. Versus Seeker Clara is pretty scary.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's just if there was energy in this hand, it would be fine.
Yeah.
But Apsyy's been struggling for attachments all game. It seems like.
Which is weird. He's playing 14 energy, which is not like a lot of energy. It's a normal number, but I feel like the lower power we go, the more energy you need to play. So maybe a 15th energy would have been good. Well, it's
There
easy
is
to see.
there's the Holand's Electrode. He's got a Super Rod. He's got a Clara.
There are
Do you
ways to
have
recover them. Oh,
What's going on?
we are playing the biggest game of chicken of all time. We have switched out Hariyama into Yuxi. We're not attacking. Now
I
that's
guess
weird.
Apsyy feels like they don't have any follow up, but I feel like you just keep up the pressure.
I feel like looking at Zach's like whatever 11, 12 card hand, he's afraid of well, you can't even accelerate in DCE. You're still not killing the Hariyama. So he probably wants to keep the Hariyama as safe as possible, but again, that thing has water arrow. You can just water arrow the bench and ignore the Yuxi.
It's probably just Zach's list has got no power, no gust, so the Hariyama's just going to sit on the bench, and while it sits on the bench, Zach can never go into Walrein EX. So I think maybe Apsyy is just thinking if he plays the long game, he's going to win.
Maybe, yeah. With the 2 prize advantage and Hariyama EX being the main attacker on Zach's deck, that might be the case. Apsyy now top decks Lapras. Now he can start digging for another supporter, a playable supporter.
There's nothing crazy for him to get. Looker's Investigation, potentially.
Sinlin is
or
pretty
maybe
good, right?
Sinlin. Yeah, Sinlin's probably the one.
Yeah, get back that Clara and get it ready for getting back the Hariyama later in the game, and also getting some energy is pretty good. If he top decks an energy, that's also amazing. No, you see the Marley's turn. Clara versus Seeker. Which one do you choose? Is the Clara force?
I think, yeah, you always choose Clara here because versus Seeker is anything.
Yeah.
Whereas Clara is always Clara, so.
I love when Marley does that kind of thing because that card is so, like, not
Marley's
great.
It's so good and bad at the same time.
Yeah.
When the board state's like this, and you're both just sort of waiting around, Marley's really good.
You have a free turn to get any trainer you want. You built your deck decently to get any trainer you want. Funnily enough, Zach has been item locked for the past like million turns because the moment he didn't the moment he got out of disconnect lock, the very next turn he promoted the Spiritomb. So he had only 1 or 2 turns to use the many items in his hand, and still has a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's one argument for giving Apsyy the Versus Seeker, is that Apsyy can't play it while Spiritomb's in the active.
True.
But I still think you give Clara every time. And actually attacking with Will-O-the-Wisp on this Spiritomb,
Wow.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that card attack before.
But Uxie wins this race. Uxie could actually Psychic Restore, and then I don't know what Zach does from there.
Yeah, I mean, Apsyy doesn't have energy in hand, so maybe he has to use the Clara just to get energy. Just quite awkward.
You get the camera up line back, the normal and the camera up. Good way of getting energy into play, and then you can BB search for Mewtwo Delta down the line,
True, yeah.
potentially.
Maybe attack out of nowhere with something like a Hariyama EX.
Hmm.
It is quite awkward. There's no good way of doing this.
It's like it feels bad claring just for energy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you get the camera, but you really want it for the fighting energy because Apsyy's deck only has 4 basic fighting energy. 2 are on the Hariyama, so finding the next 2 for your next Hariyama is gonna be pretty tough if you've used your Clara twice already. But then you can always Lapras for Sinlin, which is what Apsyy's doing now, and then get Clara back down the line. This is very awkward.
I don't
This
love
is
this.
just awkward.
Yeah. I don't love the Lapras for Sinlin if you're not using the Sinlin right now. Because like it uses a space in your bench you don't need, and maybe some point down the line you want to use another supporter.
Apsyy can see Zach's deck, and Zach doesn't have hand disruption, so maybe he's just thinking, I'm thinning the supporter to increase the chances I draw basic energy.
Okay, so he's gonna use it right now.
now.
What does he get though? Is it just Holland last time? Do we get the Marley back, and we're gonna like loop this Marley with Versus Seeker?
Potentially, you could go like Marley for Versus Seeker, Hollandless, I guess.
Well,
Or you could Marley for Versus Seeker, Sinlin.
yeah,
right?
next turn you can, yeah. Well, he goes for
Getting back Olympia.
yeah, which is pretty good as well. If your win con is to keep the Hariyama healed up,
There's energy. Apsyy can do something.
Psychic restore time probably, which is funny. I've never seen a war of Spiritomb versus Uxie like that. Two pillars of the game attacking one another.
I think it makes sense though, to an extent. Although if you're attaching to Uxie, Zach might just retreat, take the knockout. I'm not sure.
We are
Because I don't think Apsyy really cares if this. I mean, next turn, Apsyy can attach Giovanni's for +20. Take the knockout that way.
But I also don't think that this Spiritomb is ever going off of the active. This thing is only going to attack and force Apsyy to like deal with it. Is the other problem here. Meanwhile, Zach is getting a lot of energy in play because he has the Power Surk and Crush Draw combo.
Yes, I do feel like this situation's benefiting Zach much more than it's benefiting Apsyy. Apsyy's only just managed to get a basic energy attachment, whereas Zach has been consistently attaching every turn, and now with the Power Circulation and Crush Draw combo, is really going to start getting ahead on attachments.
Yeah,
especially with Zach's deck being like the slower deck, like it needs that time to get these bulkier mons going.
When your deck is named Stage 1 Rush and you don't Stage 1 Rush, you're probably in a bad spot. You become like Stage 1 Slow, which it's like he's already in the lead, but I don't know what happens when that Hariyama goes down. Because we didn't use the Clara to get back to Team Magma's camera up, so we're not accelerating energy in any way. We are not putting energy on our active, so we're just getting poked to death. And eventually we need to deal with the Spiritomb, right? Even if it's like, I'll promote Nectric and like disconnect once and it dies. But still, like, you need to commit.
But Apsyy's got a number of ways of getting rid of this Uxie. You can even just AZ the Uxie, or just Psychic Restore and put it back in your deck.
Maybe the play is to Psychic Restore back into Lapras and then AZ the Lapras, because you gain another use of both your Lapras and your Uxie. And none of your important Pokemon go down to this random Spiritomb, which, like, is annoying, but it's also in one-shot range of most of the deck right now. 2 for 40 is easy to hit.
I would have liked to have seen an attachment to Uxie just to sort of win this war with the Spiritomb, but maybe Apsyy knows something I don't. Just setting. Oh my god!
Oh
Well, he's
my
going for the knockout.
god.
Okay, I don't think Apsyy was expecting that.
I think nobody was expecting that, yeah. We're drawing a prize here. The Spirit Team has done more damage than I've ever seen a Spirit Team do.
So is this disconnect for the knockout?
Probably, yeah,
Probably.
probably, because just keep the lock going. And your fighting Pokemon are your most important Pokemon anyway. You really want to keep them healthy. So there's even Bebes in hand. So if you need to get the Hariyama Yaks to attack next turn, 2 for 40, pretty good. If you even end up hitting a weakness, it's even better.
We could see Apsyy try and set up this Ruby Sapphire camera up here. Perhaps BB searching for Mewtwo Delta at some point. And then Giovanni's +5 spin is 120, which is enough to knock out Walrein, Crush Draw.
Yeah, true. There might be a world where we are using Nummels here. I wouldn't even hate the Bebe, not the Bebes, the Clara right now, because now we're setting up we're setting up our acceleration engine and our attacker at the same time, benching 2 Nummel this turn. When we're probably gonna see, did he use Holland Adventurer? I am confused. I think so.
He's not drawn any cards, so I'm not sure.
He discarded the Holland Adventurer. I don't know if he used something to discard it. I think he might have used Transceiver to get the adventure from the discard, but he's in Spiritomb block, so he couldn't.
That makes sense, yeah. That makes sense. So interestingly, Apsyy's still item lock, but Apsyy can disconnect the Spiritomb and Zach will still be item lock.
Yeah, it's lock into lock into lock.
And how is that going to deal with this Manectric? Because he can't use Walrein EX. He's got the rare candy, but he's not allowed to play it because of the disconnect. He could come in with Crush Draw, I guess.
It's probably Crush Draw time, or it might be Mighty Anna time if he does get it in time. But he does have the Twins in hand, so that's easy enough to do. Because everything else is already in hand, right?
There's the Legends Awakened Mightyena is probably the play.
Yeah, the single prize
mid for each Pokemon in play. Yeah.
Does he even have a special dark left? Because there's 3 in, but no, he doesn't have any special dark left. I don't know if he needs though. How much is the base damage? It's 20, right? So
it's just 10 times.
10 times,
so it would be 60 at most.
It's 10 off. Oh my god. Does he have any plus power or anything? Well, he can use plus power anyway. Kukui, but if you twins, you can't Kukui.
So Apsyy going down to 2 prizes left. What is Zach's response?
Oh my god.
Well, that's the Kukui. But he has to draw it into the Mightyena.
Yeah.
He doesn't have it.
Well, he can just he has 10 cards in hand, draw 5, right?
Yeah, worst case scenario, you take the knockout with Crush Draw Walrein. Because with that Kukui, it will be doing 70 damage now. Which isn't the worst. And then, what does Apsyy do to respond? Hariyama doesn't take a knockout. And if Hariyama goes down to Walrein EX, then Walrein EX is going to clear up here. So it's possible Zach is back into the game. I think Kukui is probably the best card he could have top decked this turn.
Yeah, that was amazing by Zach, just top decking the right card. Because without the Kukui, this game is pretty screwed. But he has such a big hand, and none of these cards are really good. And he probably needs to see the Hariyama going down this turn. We don't have the Versus Seeker in hand, so he can't Lucians anymore. We can kill this Warring in 1 hit, but then Warring EX is just gonna kill us back, right? Because of Giovanni's scheme.
Exactly.
And then how the hell do we...
Like, Hariyama is one hit by Walrein.
Is
EX
Rayquaza
next turn.
EX the option here?
Um, 40.
It's hitting not enough, right? Or maybe it's so weird.
If there was a free retreat Pokemon, then yes, with Giovanni's we could take the knockout with Rayquaza.
Yeah.
But having to pay the retreat cost
Or
is
if
not gonna work out.
Camerupt was in play like for a few turns, accelerating energy, but not like this.
Actually, that might have been the play. Is go up with the and then you can hold your normal on the card the Clara. This is awkward.
Yeah,
20 damage
something.
short. Apsy's 20 damage short.
Yeah, that like, is it back burner time then? It might be back burner time because I can't really see any other way to do this. Or let's see. That Makuhita cannot become a Hariyama next turn. Well,
I
yeah.
think you're right. I think it is back burner. Next turn, take the knockout with Rayquaza EX.
But
And then
you need a free retriever or to bench your Rayquaza right now, right?
well, the back burner should give enough energy into play. And then just retreat the Makuhita should be enough.
Maybe, yeah, I guess so. So back burner accelerates 2 energy. There are 3 energy in the discard still. Plenty. Even for Team Magma's Camel to attack in the future. So we're not going to play the Ray. We're going to kind of hold it. And, like, how many energy do we need? We need 6, right? There are
6
3,
or 5 plus Giovanni.
because we really don't want to take away all of those fightings from Hariyama, because it is your secondary plan. Because if something kills your Rayquaza, your Hariyama needs to be able to do something about it. And oh no, I just realized there's a problem in here. There's a cessation crystal in Zach's hand, and I'm pretty sure that Zach is gonna look at this and be like, oh, if I cess right now, that Rayquaza, which we're playing in open deck list, that Rayquaza cannot do anything, which might be a reason for Apsyy to play the Rayquaza right now, actually.
That is really awkward. It's a shame Apsyy doesn't have any fighting energy in his discard pile, because he could Rayquaza and then use the back burner to get fighting energy back on the Hariyama. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But he still needs to pair it. Yeah. Oh?
Scoop. Apsyy scoops?
I'm guessing Apsyy scoop.
Wow.
Should we confirm in the chat?
Yeah. Wow, I didn't expect that. Zach. Okay, no. Yeah, Zach won. So Apsyy scooped. Wow.
Interesting.
I
I feel like Apsyy, not knowing that the cessation crystal was in the hand, did have a line there. But obviously, we knew he had the cessation crystal.
Even with the cessation crystal, there's a game to be had there. I don't know. That's a weird scoop. Maybe he's worried about the time and being like, I don't want to tie this. That is a weird play. I wouldn't expect to see a scoop there, but well, here we are. I'll update the scores right now in the screen.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Oh, the Spiritium opener is very painful. And Apsyy starting with Nummels, which are of course weak to water.
Yeah, it's really not your preferred starter here.
Do you see the turn 1 Uxie again? Let's see what Apsyy was able to draw. And that is not the hand you want to see. That Holon Transceiver cannot be used under Keystone Seal,
Ooh.
so just kind of attack for the next few turns.
And we
Although
have the
Zach's
wrong.
also
I mean, Zach has a decent hand. Like he can.
well, he couldn't Great Ball before because of the item lock, but that Sableye top deck has saved him because now he can go and bridge it. But this does let Apsyy use the transceiver, so hopefully there's a game to be had here.
Well, the transceiver only gets a mentor, not a mentor, an adventurer, which is like really not what we want to see. We wanted to see a mentor, but they don't exist in this deck.
Yeah, if Apsyy had Mentor, his deck would be so much better.
Unfortunately, he doesn't. Yeah.
Especially as you could then also get Lapras as one of the 3 Pokemon to have a supporter for the next turn as well.
True.
Really just going to be preying on this adventurer to find something. Preferably a Makuhita is probably all you need to get this Hariyama going.
I guess, yeah, you have enough energy in hand, so... While Zach is getting set up, Apsyy has to get away from this mess. He has to top deck, like, right now. We'll have to see what he does.
Is Zach actually using Holometer with Impersonate, discarding the escape route? I wonder if that's just because Bridget's prized, maybe?
Yeah,
so
that might be a reason.
Mentor's the next best thing.
Or he saw that he was trainer locked all game. Oh, good top deck, Makuhita.
That is nice. And yeah, this has got to be... Let's hope the Adventurer is not prized, because otherwise this is going to be a Holon less. Okay, there's the Adventurer.
Yeah, Holon last there would be very bad. Are we discarding the fire? Probably. We don't need more fires in this, so... And fires in the discard are, like, fine anyway, because you can get them with backburners and overheats. Or is it the second escape rope that is going? No, it's a fire. Okay. Oh, is it a good hand? It's a fine hand. That's playable. That there's nothing you can.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just a fine hand. You can even trade your Hariyama if you really want to. There's also another thing here. There's a Numel with 1 energy in the active. We can keep attaching to that Numel and start split bombing because like. There's no pressure, right? There's no pressure to have.
It's going to be at least... Well, next turn, Zach can bench this field. Turn after, you could have Rare Candy Will Rain, but you're not going to have the energy, so... You've got at least 2 turns of split bombing, potentially.
Because hitting the Sableye is pretty, like, useless on the Spiritomb, so... Hitting the Skitty and the... Well, I guess the 2 Spheals that are going to come down next turn... That's pretty good.
It's actually scary if Apsyy doesn't evolve. If Zach found a special darkness energy, the Numel would be knocked out by overconfidence, so perhaps feeling he has to evolve here. Going into the Ruby Sapphire Camerupt and probably going to start pressuring the Spiritomb, I'm going to guess. Because that's something Zach's more likely to bring into the active, whereas the Skitty is just going to sit on the bench.
Does that make sense? Because Auburn is 2010, right? No, it does put the damage on the Skitty. Maybe this changes some math or makes Curstone like 1 turn earlier as a knockout.
Well, Apsyy with the Surprise Time Machine actually can go into Split Bomb next turn still. So maybe it's Split Bomb and then Split Bomb again to knock out that Delcatty. Maybe that's the line?
Maybe something like that, yeah.
Because if you can Split Bomb the Spheal, that's going to be benched. This is tough. Is that going for a Scientist? So we've got 2 Spheals benched. Scientist isn't going to be drawing many cards here. So that's a bit awkward for Zach. And the only energy... Zach already used energy draw? He has, yeah. But Zach's got overconfident. Not overconfident, impersonate, so
Yeah,
what
he's
supporter do you think he's gonna get?
oh my god, he just top deck one, but that's not a good one to use right now. He has access to like Stevens for 4, Lily doesn't draw enough. Maybe Gladion if there's something. No, it is Stevens. Stevens for 4. Drew into like a lot of evolutions, which I guess is pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay, do you engineer or do you lass here?
It depends on what Apsyy wants, because I personally think that now it's kind of too late to split bomb. Your opponent has a pretty big hand, and if this camera up ever goes down, you are screwed. You are very, very, very screwed. There's no energy on the board. Your deck barely accelerates. So, like, is it just lava burn and then you start putting energy on your Makuhita? Because, like, sure, you're getting either your energy or, like, draw 4. Which, I guess, getting energy now and drawing 4 later is a bit better. How many energy do we have in the discard? Are we accelerating? No, we're not. We only have 1.
Only 1 energy.
Only 1 energy?
That's really sad.
Wow, that's terrible.
I don't know. I feel like you have to start split bombing because, like, if Zach doesn't have the 1 rare candy in his deck, you can get a lot of damage down on these fields, and you're basically guaranteed to knock out the Delcatty next turn, and that's a huge reason why Zach won that last game was the Delcatty, drawing so many cards.
Yeah, it's really awkward because you have to put the damage on the DC this field. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But then the other damage can go to the Delcatty. You can try to cut the draw, or you can put damage on the second field. But there's a chance that field never even attacks because you have so many setup mons in this deck that you really don't care if one of your setup mons dies instead of your attackers or your draw engine.
Mm-hmm.
But we are going to see the split bomb.
Going for both fields, so really trying to pressure those attackers rather than the draw engine.
Yeah, top deck of twins is pretty bad, but energy draw may say something about that. Not really.
Zach can evolve into Celio this turn.
Maybe there's a Celio prize, which would be ideal here, because you get one with your Gladion. Yeah, you have to get one with Gladion. Maybe you can even knock. No, you can't accelerate this turn. Maybe we're a Candia's prize. This Gladion needs to like get something, because Zach has a pretty big hand, but like, what does he do with it?
It's looking for like a Celio, a rare candy, or a floatstone, because Apsyy forces Zach to retreat the Sableye by not knocking it out, which keeps him a turn behind on attachments.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why Split Bomb is so good. It's just, it forces your opponent to do something.
Yeah, you only hit the relevant stuff, like, not like the other game where the Spiritomb was doing the damage. You had to, like, use your EX to head into the Spiritomb.
We do see Kukui off the prize cards.
There's nothing on the prizes, oh my god.
But I think Zach's in an okay spot, because next turn got the Crush draw Walrein coming in. Apsyy will be able to start powering up a Hariyama EX.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Maybe we have that Hariyama coming in, the Warring coming in, because that Celio already has DC, and your Sphere is dead. This turn it is going to die. You have twins, so you can like kind of sculpt the hand to do whatever you need to. But again, as this Sableye is in the active, Zach can't do anything. Like, he needs to retreat the Sableye, and Apsyy is like forcing the bench, and like there's no good way to get out of this. Like, there's a world where promoting the crush draw is correct, just because it's your only topper that doesn't get weakness to death, but it's also your Okay, yeah. He's using impersonate, going for the Elm String method on the deck. Okay, that's fine. It was not in his end. So yeah, it's such an awkward game.
Good top deck for Apsyy. Pitching this fighting energy is painful, but I feel like Apsyy has to do it.
Yeah. If you don't
But
make another
then
energy, you're kind of screwed. But you have to do it.
does really need to draw into another fighting energy across these next couple of turns.
Mm-hmm.
That Team Magma's Camera Up is a decent draw.
Yeah. It kind of saves it, right? Because it gets you more outs to putting the fighting energy back.
And at least there's a Cynthia and Caitlyn to draw some more cards and have a supporter for the turn after as well. So Apsyy is like, oh, it's been a rough draw, but the split bomb Camera Up is putting in work.
Yeah, this card is overperforming. It's those kinds of like setups where you kind of ignore your opponent's active and you keep setting up, where split bomb is at its best when you ignore the active and hit the important stuff in the bench. Or do you think we see the knockout? We have to see the knockout on Field this turn, right? We don't need to play around POW. We don't need to play around Scramble. So
Yeah, it's just twins that Zach now has access to, but I'm not sure how that helps him. And this DCE is a bit awkward because Crushed Draw Walrein needs 2 water energy,
yeah,
so it's kind of wasted. And going into Walrein EX here doesn't feel amazing.
feels quite bad.
But Zach doesn't know what's in Apsy's hand, so
Yeah, Apsyy has
doesn't
been
know
playing
this.
pretty like slowly. Like his hand doesn't
Yeah.
have a lot. Like his turns are attach, use support, or attack. Do very few actions. So it's either like that hand is full of gas that he hasn't used, or like that hand is super bricked, and we'll have to see.
No water energy in Zach's hand, so
Twins has to get one.
I mean, the only way to get a knockout is water energy. You could take the knockout with Walrein EX, using Water Arrow on the active. And then
Yes.
Icy Aura would take the knockout between turns.
Between turns you kill the camera up, because this thing has 90 HP. That's so big.
But then this Walrein would have 90 HP left, yeah. Which is out of Hariyama EX knockoff, taking the knockout. So what did we get? We got Mantine Delta, so that's a guaranteed attachment with Crush Draw. And the second card is... Well, that signals to me that Zach's going for Crush Draw Walrein, not Walrein EX this turn. Oh, a Cessation Crystal.
I have no idea what is the plan.
Maybe it's just setting up, like... he's got a Spheal in hand, so maybe it's bench the Spheal, power set, Crush Draw, and then next turn deal with the camera up. It's not like Apsyy can take a knockout with Split Bomb next turn.
He can't in the next 2 turns. Or like even just set up that Warring to get knocked out later. Because if at some point we are ready to attack with Magma Ball, the Flame Ball, and Team Magma's camera up,
We do see the
okay, so we are
power second to Crush Draw, attach to Walrein, attach the Rescue to save Lion, retreat to take the knockout. And what will Apsyy's response be? If Apsyy had an energy in hand, like a fighting energy, like it would just be Giovanni's knockoff, and the game would be over probably.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty awkward, so we do see the Uxie promotion.
The top deck of not the top deck, the Twins into Cess is what saved Zach here, because we cannot really do anything about the Cess. And the attack that we had planned cannot be used anymore in Flame Ball. So that is a depressive take of Holland Adventure with Sinland, but it is what it is. Ooh,
So we've got Timer Ball, perhaps looking for the other Maku Hariyama, or even a Manectric. Um, hmm. I'd have to imagine the Platinum Manectric's pretty decent here, with how much damage has been built up on this Wolverine. But Apsyy does not have the energy to attack with it this turn, so it's going to be a bit awkward. I just feel like every turn Apsyy's deck is like struggling to keep going, which is quite surprising considering it's just stage 1 Pokemon. Like, it's not asking that much, but we're just
Yeah.
barely getting there. So setting up for a second bite the following turn, although there's no good way to retreat this Uxie, and there's no more energy in Apsy's hands, so this is really awkward. Is that going to be able to start building up the Warrain EX on the bench, but not able to use powers, so there's no energy draw, no crush draw.
But that's
Um,
fine, right? Like, at this point, you just flip the script.
yeah. Do you Kukui for the knockout here? I don't think you do, but it's an option.
I think you might, because what does your opponent do
I
after
guess.
that? Like, you look at your opponent's board and okay, you are dying to second bite, so you have to do something about this neck trick. But your guys are not weak to lightning, at least.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So yeah, just DCE to Celio, and I guess Zach's just thinking about that Kukui. Like, oh, is this a retreat? What are we going into here? Is it Spiritomb? Sableye? Spiritomb.
No, it's Sableye.
What's Sableye? That's the one. What supporter is Zach wanting to use? Or is it just to stall? Oh, it's. I guess Zach can just get the energy back with Crush Draw, so. Interesting.
Did he really want to do this like this much? To like lose tempo? I guess he doesn't need tempo, right? The setup as this
Yeah.
deck's kind of bottleneck, and
A lot of like these lower power levels is about preserving HP on your attackers.
mm-hmm.
I guess Zach doesn't feel like it's worth wasting an attacker just to knock out something harmless like an Uxie. So he'd rather make the first move because you really want to be attacking like attackers, and that's the reason why like split bomb is so good, because you can't just stall with these Sableye, Uxie, Spiritombs like
Yeah.
we've been seeing both these games now.
Yeah, you can just hit where it's important. Or even attacks like Water Arrow, where put the damage where is most important too. But this is such an like, it's such an awkward setup game for Apsyy, because going fast doesn't really matter. Almost, it's
Hmm.
like if your opponent sets up, it sets up. Like there's nothing you can do about that.
So Apsy opting not to overheat, probably scared of a water arrow from a Warrain
Yeah,
EX. Um, I'm not sure how Apsy gets through. Like, this feels really awkward. But Zack is pretty bench locked. Like, it's that Walrein and the Celio, and that's it. So if maybe Apsy's plan is to build up like 3 or 4 attackers, meanwhile Zack can only set up 2 at most. If Zack comes in with like Water Arrow, then Apsy's got a response with Hariyama, so maybe Apsy's okay.
yeah. That retreat turn was really awkward, because it's obvious that Zach wants to preserve both the attacker and the accelerator, but I don't know the tempo. Like, if you keep hitting, can your opponent even come back from the lead that you already have, and like how many turns you're ahead?
I guess, I mean, it would be second bite on the crush draw,
That
and
is a knockout,
then,
right? Yeah.
yeah, and then Zach would get a return KO potentially with Warrain EX.
Or just start
I
hitting like the Makuhita even.
Yes. It
Or
looks like we're seeing another.
the game of
Well,
chicken.
last game it was Uxie versus Spirit Team. This game it's Sableye versus Uxie.
Yeah. We're seeing like the power of these darkness energies. Because like 1 for 20 is not a bad attack.
I mean, this Sableye's terrifying with special deck.
Yeah.
Like you can donk. It happens. What's the play here though? Like all these supporters are awkward to use. Like you could Marlies for Sinlin and Adventurer, I guess, or even Lass. Full on Lass if you need energy.
You can like either Lucian or AZ just to get this Yuxi out and
Yeah.
start like hitting the Sableye with like anything.
Apsyy's got 4 energy in play, 4 in the discard pile, so there's only 6 energy left in the deck.
Wow.
So I don't think. I mean, 6 out of 20. I guess the odds aren't that bad.
We are doing Marley, Sinlin,
Oh yeah,
Transceiver.
let's see if it makes more sense. Yeah,
That is depressive.
unless Zack retreats Sableye into Spiritium and starts attacking with Spiritium for the item lock,
I guess,
but
but
that would be very odd.
yeah, like we're losing so much tempo today on these weird turns. Well, Sableye is just getting the knockout next turn, is it? Or not? No, it's not, because they're both same HP and overconfident. Only fewer remaining HP. It's such a weird game.
Both games have been weird. The come down. It's not necessary.
No, because they're both of. Yeah, it's not.
40 P, X is at 50, so we've come to only 10 damage, but maybe it's taking last.
Yeah, it makes sense for him to put it there, just like preserve one extra turn of Yuxi, and like if you really want to, you can psychic restore. But I don't think that's like decent play or good play. It's just like he got back he got back like a useless supporter back to hand, basically, instead of like maybe AZ and attack.
Mm-hmm.
And now like what happens?
Apsyy just needs to make sure he can deal with Zack's threat, so I guess he's not willing to go in against the Sableye, knowing that all his attackers can get one shot. It's really tough. I almost feel like taking the knockout with Team Magma's camera up to may have been the play.
Yeah, because you can move an energy back. Like you don't really waste the attachment because you.
Exactly, and then Zack's response has to be either Celio or Warrain. And then you're in a position now, you've got the Harry armor. You are short of fighting energy, actually. So maybe that's what Apsyy's waiting on, is one more fighting energy to actually attack with Harry armor.
That's why we got the Transceiver back to Holland Last.
Alas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
So we might see... How many fighting energy are left in the deck, though? There's 2 in the deck. Unless there's some in the prizes. So.
Ooh, yeah. Digging 10 in 19 is like.
But
not
what
great.
Apsyy can do is overheat for the fighting energy in the discard pile.
But you can only move fires, right?
Oh, you can only move fire. Yeah, that's awkward.
Well, you can also overheat Lucians, but not after your camel dies. The first camel's already dead. Well, we're not digging for the energy. We're just digging in general. I don't even know what do you discard here, because all of your cards are decent or good or usable.
Especially with the second mecha heater hitting the bench, like
Mm-hmm. God.
AZ. I can see that because your Pokemon are getting one shot in this matchup most of the time. I don't think Apsy's looking to AZ the Uxie. There's the Mewtwo Delta. That's a scary card.
Yeah, I mean that does create a Hariyama out of nowhere.
I mean, what if he's already used a supporter? Like, I would have liked to have just seen like Giovanni's knockout with Psychic Restore.
Anything. Just to, like, your deck is a rush deck. Like, you have to take your opponent out of their like comfort zone and accelerate the game. And this game is like, it started out very accelerated, but at some point it just became like a I'll promote Uxie and wait. Then Zach is like, I'll promote Sableye and slowly kill you.
Yeah, but I think because Zach's bench is so clogged, like he's not being punished that much. Also,
Yeah.
does Zach have any shuffle draw supporters, or is deck out a concern here?
He has a super rod that I don't know he already used. He hasn't used the super rod yet.
Okay. With only 7 cards in debt, but there's also a Palpad, so not really in. Oh, there's also power
Yeah,
circulation.
power surge.
So yeah, never mind.
Power surge, you can kind of save yourself.
Like every turn, Apsy doesn't have an energy, so he has to spend his turn finding an energy.
Yeah, and that's why we play with like 15 energy and low power.
Well, there goes the energy route, and that will be the knockout with overconfident.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's -1 turn. I think that's good for Apsyy because it's gonna force him to do something. I think doing nothing is what is like kind of losing him the game.
Second bite does take the knockout. Manectric with free retreat anyway, so that's always the promotion.
Maybe it's Flame Ball, maybe... Oh, nice, second fighting.
Now that's a top deck. A fighting energy.
Best card in Apsyy, Zach.
Like, actually, though, that's what he needs at this point.
Yeah, probably was the best top deck.
This is so awkward. I almost wish the AZ was around, so you could, like, Mewtwo Delta, move to the other Mega Heater, and then AZ go from one Hariyama to the next. But it's awkward when the Warrain EX can just one-shot your Hariyamas, so...
It's almost like both sides are dealing with weakness at the same time. So we're thinning the deck with Heavy Ball. I think there's no other target for it. Yeah. And is your least important attacker your Manectric or your Camel? The Camel can be used to like accelerate with Mewtwo. Oh, double tails, triple tails on Lure Ball.
Oh my.
What was Lure Ball going for though? Because both Hariyamas are already active.
Maybe camera up? I'm not sure.
Yeah, because it can only get evolutions, so you can see.
Yes, we can only get camera.
They don't really matter.
So I have to imagine it's the second bite here. How is Zach taking the response? KO? I'm not sure. Lucian's assignment. I'm surprised we're seeing that now. I'm surprised Apsyy is not accelerating a fighting to the camera up and then using Lucian's assignment as well to get 2 energy.
Yeah, I think he's afraid that the camera dies to a water arrow, but I don't know if like prizes are the main concern of this game.
No, I think Zach's trolling if he water arrows the camera up to this point.
Yeah, if the camera is there, it's there. Doesn't really matter. Like Lucian was already used. Because you lose to both of those Hariyamas, right? So those are the main targets.
So we see the knockout come through. Zach will be able to start setting up another attacker.
Maybe.
I wonder if the player was to like try and knock out his own Mantine earlier, so he could actually set up more. But...
maybe he's doing that slowly.
Yeah, but not really a need to do it anymore with a free bench space. So this is going to be probably Warring EX Ice Throw. Although, can Team Aqua's Warring take the knockout? No.
Uh, well, it can, but it costs a lot of energy in play,
It's a lot, yeah.
and like it kind of just dies.
But with Kukui, you'd only have to return 2 energy back to hand.
Unfortunately, you can't save the DC. That would be pretty cool, but
That would be really nice, but
I also don't know if you want to use the Kukui now. Kukui is a way to like reach those 100, 110s if necessary. Like Ice Throw already gets there, but maybe at some point you don't want to attack with a 2-prizer. Oh no, we are going to Kukui.
so you have to imagine it's the Team Aqua's Warring, which I've never been a fan of, but
Ditto Prism.
oh, wait,
What?
I'm thinking Power Blow.
Power
No, the Power Blow doesn't take the knockout.
Well, the Power Blow
it has to be Hydro Reverse.
Yeah, the Power Blow is bad because it doesn't get back energy. And at this point, I think you want to get back energy.
Yeah.
Because, like,
So
that Warring is dead. It has 30 damage on it and weakness to fighting. That card is dead.
This makes a lot of sense, though, because Apsyy's follow-up is a Hariyama, and although Zach doesn't have Rare Candy in the hand now, he is building up towards the Warring EX. And the Warring EX is how Zach deals with these Hariyamas. They both just one-hit each other, so it's kind of a weird matchup in that regard.
Yeah, we see the Hydro Reverse here. There's a very rare occurrence of Team Aqua's Warring actually doing something.
And actually returning the water energy is not that bad.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Because there's no water energy in the discard right now. So next turn we don't have a guaranteed Power Circ. But is that even a problem? How many energies are in play right now?
I don't think it's a problem.
Now it is. This is Apsyy's turn.
I mean, if Zach really wanted to, he could Transceiver for Mentor in his discard pile.
Oh, wow.
And pitch your water energy that way, so there is a way to do it. I mean, how does Apsyy take this knockout?
He can just 3 for 100 with Spirited Throw, but then your guy dies.
Does it though? Because Zach's not guaranteed to get into the Warring EX.
Oh yeah, it doesn't. He isn't. Yeah, you're right. Oh, a Clara top deck. That's really good.
That's good. None of your Makuhitas have died yet.
Yeah,
it's the awkward bit, so you can't really utilize it that much.
Well, you still have a Versus Seeker in the deck, so there's probably still a use out of it. I don't know if the Electric is the... Yeah, the Nectric is probably your best attacker. Like, it's pretty big. 90 HP.
Manectric is really efficient at killing the Crush Straw Warring with 60 damage on it already.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you set up for.
And also, like, you need energy in hand, so that's a good way of putting energy in your hand.
That's what you're using Clara for, is for the 2 energy. Yeah, it's just a shame we've not seen the Holland's Electrode come out in either game, I don't think. Because I think that would really help with Apsyy's attachment issues. So this is going to be a pivot throw.
Hariyama EX joins the party without Curse Stone. I feel like if we have a Curse Stone now, Apsyy has a chance of like turning.
We've not seen Curse Stone. Wait, what is?
He moves.
This is going to do 80 damage.
And then
maybe Giovanni.
Giovanni, yeah, I imagine.
And then next turn, if this Hariyama EX is dealt with, can Clara for the energy and have a choice of which Hariyama to go for. So this seems reasonable.
Yeah. But like, remember all that temple that was lost? Like, maybe I think he's like on the back foot. I know that Zach can take the knockout right now. But it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, we also
And
have.
you can't actually red candy the Ditto Prism, can you?
Yeah,
So
yeah, you can't
there's
use
no
Hurricane.
there's no response KO this turn. And was that a fighting energy off the prizes? That is a huge prize.
Yes. Wow.
Potentially means Apsyy doesn't need to Clara this coming turn.
Mantine. But there's no rainbow energy, right? So that Mantine is just like hitting the dust.
We do see a Floatstone top deck. Zach probably wishing he'd promoted Delcatty now. Just better Floatstone target, but what do you do as Zach here? Like,
There's a world where you attack with your warring and try to force your opponent to pivot through.
yeah.
With sheer
I mean,
code.
if you flip heads on sheer cold,
It's really
Apsyy
annoying.
would have to retreat.
Or attach. You can just or the opponent's. You don't choose an attack. Your opponent can't attack. Yeah, that's really good.
Like, if that hits heads, that's so much energy gone for Apsyy.
Yeah, and like sure he promotes and kills the warring, but at that point it's too late. The other warring is already here, ready to kill anything, and there's not enough energy on the board to deal with
Yeah,
that.
I'd imagine Zach's just being patient though, waiting for the Wolverine EX
Well,
to
but the
take the
warring EX
one-hit knockout.
is next turn.
Yeah, so he's just gonna sacrifice the Mantine. Then Wolverine EX knocks out Hariyama. Then Hariyama knocks out Wolverine EX, but then that's game for Apsyy,
Yeah,
so I don't see
yeah.
how that works.
I think this floatstone needs to be attached now, and we need to sheer
Feels like
cold.
it has to be a sheer cold, yeah.
And like if he's probably like thinking about what happens if I don't hit heads. But like
At least with the Clara in Apsyy's hand, if he does have to retreat, spending that fighting energy, he can get it back. And there's already a fighting energy in the discard pile, so we would have another 2 fighting energy in the hand, so. This is awkward. What's Mantine's attack? No, that's not
it's
going to do it.
10 heal 10, right?
Yeah, I feel like just passing with Mantine is always losing, but
Yeah,
let's
you
see.
lose the game if you do this.
Especially as Apsyy can knock off again and potentially hit something important in Zach 10.
Mm-hmm.
What did he hit last time, actually? Was it the transceiver, I think?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think it was a transceiver. Yeah, we do see the
No.
floatstone.
Sheer cold? Question mark?
Time to sheer code. Time to flip coins. My favorite time.
I mean, sheer cold into harass Mightyena is a way to deal with this Hariyama.
Yeah.
50 plus 60. If you're trying to save your Worrying EX, so maybe that's the play.
So you're
That
attaching.
probably is the play. I have sex not attaching to the.
I think that's just the attachment. You can still cross draw.
The Wolverine will be dead, so you would have the crush draw.
Oh yeah.
And both DCEs are gone. Both DCEs are gone, so there's no way to
Wow.
power up harass with one attachment. I mean, it'll be awkward if Apsyy does win this game, because we are running out of time on the round.
Oh, we are. Oh my god.
30 something minutes. Oh, I was not expecting that. I guess it forces an attachment on the Hariyama, but Apsyy just has that attachment, so it's not an issue.
Yeah, and Apsyy has game, right? As long as that Hariyama is there with two... Yeah, as long as Hariyama attack with 2 energy, the Warriors die, so we need to be able to deal with this with 2 Hariyama giving 2 prizes, so we can't use our big EXs. And I don't think this deck works without the big EXs.
Do you feel like Apsyy should start powering up this Camerupt? I think it's very clear that Zach's not going to be able to snipe it.
Mm-hmm.
And potentially having... Maybe not, I don't know actually. If the Warrain had 10 less HP for Flame Ball to have a nice knockout on it.
Well, if we find our Curse Stone...
True. Custom would be insane here. Because the problem with this play is... What is the problem? Oh, I don't know. Okay, just going for a knockoff. I'm surprised Apsyy's not just taking the prize card, considering he's got the Clara in hand, so... Bridget hits the discard. Probably best case scenario for Zach, because he does not care about that card.
Yeah.
Zach does have to attach the Spirit Team to get it out the active, which is awkward.
But now he has enough energy to attach and accelerate at the same time. So he can attack with either Warrain EX or Crush or Sheer Code. Even Harass. But I think Harass is wrong. Maybe not. No, maybe... Is Harass wrong? No, he can't actually attack with... Yeah.
I feel like Zach's prize trade should have been Crush to Warrain first, and then Harass Mighty Anna. Go down to one prize, and then Warrain EX is like the last. But like, if you've got a single prizer and a two prizer, then I don't know. I'd imagine the Spirit Team's just going to be knocked out, so it's really hard to use those EX Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe we see a Driving Howl, which is like a repel effect on Apsyy's side, would force Apsyy to switch the Hariyama.
Into what, though? Because, like
that's the thing, because Apsyy won't want to go into Makihita.
Yeah, you just go into Mewtwo and...
You go into Mewtwo and then retreat. So we do see the retreat. We do see the Warrain EX. So this is a knockout. 2 prizes for Zach. And then Apsyy goes in with a Hariyama.
Knocks it out.
Is this game going to come down to a sheer cold coin flip?
I think it was going to go down to sheer cold coin flip anyway, so...
Does Apsyy have any way to snipe 10 damage on the... Well, Spirit Team or Mentine?
Well, Curse Stone.
Well, oh, yeah, custom draw right now would actually just be game, right? So, where is it?
Haven't seen it yet. We have an adventurer
for it.
Yeah. We haven't seen
other
Curse Stone
options,
at all, right?
Yeah, other options are Bench Electrike, Clara for 2 energy, and then you've... Oh no, let's disconnect. You don't have enough for Mega Shot.
Yeah.
We do see the Clara. Perhaps just setting up an... Oh, Uxie. Okay. Looks like we're going for the Curse Stone, I have to imagine.
Yeah. So, if we get this Hariyama back, it's really awkward because if you attack with Pivot Throw, you take 10 extra. Can we even capitalize the 10 extra? I don't know. Well, I think we're digging for Curse Stone anyway.
Okay, Transceiver for the deck and fail it, I'd imagine.
Yeah. To check
and then it's going to be Electric, attach to Electric, evolve into Hariyama and Uxie, and you're drawing 1, 2, 3, like 4 cards? 5 cards. 5 out of 12.
Curse Stone wins the game on the spot. Do we have it? We do!
That's game.
Curse Stone.
Oh my god, we're going to game 3.
And we have time rules in effect. Eventually.
Hey, we've got 31 minutes, and these guys did start a couple of minutes.
Oh, okay. Later. Okay, we have 31. Okay. I thought we were less.
Okay. Such a weird dynamic. I feel like if either deck had like a POW, it would be a completely different game. Like POW would just give that person such an advantage.
Yeah.
Hmm. But yeah, I think the split bomb camera was really the MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. That early
Well,
camera up was everything.
obviously, yeah.
It was
Hariyama was like obviously important, but it's like without the camera up, Zach could have just sort of chilled, but
Yeah, the early
forced him to
game
lose.
was absolutely forced by that camera up, and we had like the low on the rest of the game, but if not by the camera up on the early game, knocking out one of the Warriors and setting up the other, like this game would have been a lot different. So we're setting up for game 3. I hope that in game 3 we see like a faster game for both players and not like both players kind of waiting around on their opponents to do things and not do anything themselves.
Again, awkward hand for. I feel like Apsyy's deck just needs like a couple more energy. Paralyzing Gaze to kick things off. Double Puchiana start for Zach is a bit awkward.
Yeah, weird game to start that.
Stevens is not the best draw supporter to lead with, just because Apsyy's bench will be quite small at the start of the game. No clear line to getting to Delcatty. I think Zach got Delcatty turn 2 and turn 3 in those last couple of games, which really kept his deck flowing.
Yeah, it needs to be like a Dusk Ball for either Cleffa, a Spiritomb. Not even Spiritomb helps, right? It needs to be like a Sableye.
Yeah, Sableye would be. It's just a shame Apsyy doesn't have a mentor. Like,
Yeah.
mentor would be so nice.
Mentor now is almost perfect. You kind of run out of a second supporter, so you need to waste the Lapras, but like, that's not even bad. One thing that I haven't looked is how does Zach get out of Scarstone with a high pressure system? Okay, he does have one supporter in a 0-6, so wait, does 0-6 Scar Stadium? No, zero. That's Fama. That's not 0-6.
Yeah, it's just high pressure system.
Okay, so I don't think Zach will ever play that stadium. He's just gonna hold first for Kirstone.
Makahita's decent. The Puchianas are weak to fighting, so this is potentially scary. Especially with the Giovanni's in hand. We could be seeing
Fake out.
an early turn. It's possible. Turn 2 knockout. If Apsyy's deck had like a switch or a float stone or something as well, it would really help get these early aggressive plays going.
Yeah.
But having to commit an attachment just to retreat.
Well, he can
then
just
go in.
calm for Manectric.
Yeah.
Manectric's for Treater, but yeah, I agree.
I feel like it's a shame Apsyy passed that Chatot in the draft. I think he picked a fossil card over it.
Oh yeah.
It's like Chatot in that last game. It's like free retreat, mimic for like 15 cards or something.
Yeah, that would have been very good. See, Lapras for research.
That seems a bit early. Like, we know Zach can't disrupt the hand, so why are we Laprasing now?
I don't know.
Unless it's to play around escape rope. That's the only thing I can think of is...
I guess, but like, are you even hitting with Mightyena? Like, how much Mightyena would have done? 30? 40 maximum?
The nuts would be escape rope, float stone, Bridget, special dark. And that would be a knockout.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's happening.
Sorry. Definitely not happening with that hand. This is an awful hand for Zach. Definitely needs something in the bottom 7 here with the Dusk Ball.
Yeah, and it's taking a while, of course, because revealing the bottom of your deck to yourself sucks.
And there's the Sableye.
Saved. Absolutely saved.
So that's going to be an easy Bridget, I'd imagine.
You
Potentially
yeah.
a draw supporter and then Bridget. I don't know. Or it could even be Elm, because now you can energy draw off the Ditto, but we do see an attachment to Ditto, so unlikely to be energy draw Delcatty.
Like, you're not in a rush right now, so I think Bridget is fine. This Sableye is not gonna die, even if your opponent, like, well, I guess he could do the Giovanni and 2 for 40. It's so unlikely.
Yeah, like
Ooh.
Apsyy needs to deal with the Sableye.
And that's why we don't Lapras for research before seeing the top deck. We don't want to discard a
Oh my
Versus
god.
Seeker. Sometimes the top deck kills the rest.
I don't know what you do here. Like, you calm in the camera up, I guess? Oh, he's just going to Versus Seek for Adventurer, which feels bad.
That is depressive. And so I think this Rayquaza should have been better used in this game, because this thing resists Zach's entire deck. So he needs to attack with like Mightyena, and he really doesn't want to do that. I don't know. I feel like that Rayquaza is like the key to the matchup. We're not using it as the key to the matchup.
Not a good draw. We're going in with a charge? There's no lightning energy in the discard pile.
Yeah, second bite is not doing anything next turn.
It's just awkward. It's a shame it's not the other Electrike, the one Apsyy has in his hand.
Yeah.
That can accelerate from the deck.
That would have been actually decent, you know?
That would have been good, but... What'd you even do? Just pass. Okay. Well, there's the escape route. So, I guess it's just Celio attach. And what do you get here, though? Do you even attach? Yes, you do.
Yeah, you have a fuel, that's fine. So Steven's already gone. Lily?
Either Lily or Elm if you're trying to get your Delcatty up.
Scientist, discard the energy. Yeah, Lily for 3. I feel like Lily is really bad in this deck, so outside of like the early game.
Yeah, I guess when you can use it, you should use it.
Yeah.
Because the hands get pretty big, as we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But that draw's not really helping Zach either. So it'd be good if we could get a disconnect off this turn. Probably what we're going to see. It's just a shame that Apsy's going to have to research away Giovanni, Camerupt, and AZ. Like, it's pretty brutal.
Yeah. Playing that Lapras, I think, was not a great option, because if you could, right now, you could use it as a supporter. Like, even the last in that hand is not terrible, because you're still holding a lot of resources. And yeah, the disconnect is like not even amazing. It's just like fine. Oh no, yeah, we're using research, of course. We're not using Giovanni. We can't.
And that energy root does need to come off.
Yeah, I'm sure Zach is gonna tell him at some point. Zach Krekeler, a veteran of the game, played when energy root was fresh new out of Unseen Forces.
It's going to be disconnect, into disconnect. This is what we saw in game 1, and this is actually really bad for Zach, because Zach's hand isn't doing much.
Yeah.
Might have to be a retreat into Cleffer and Eek after the Sableye goes down. But we do get one more turn of Impersonate, so hopefully can get something.
We also see the energy in the Pooch.
Yes. Here's the Delcatty, so Zach should be fine from here on out.
Is it time to Mega Shot the Skitty? We can't, but is it?
Yeah. Imagine if Apsy's deck had Cessation Crystal as well.
Ugh.
They can't use it on Manectric, but...
Yeah, like imagine that camera up with Cessation Crystal.
Split Bomb Cessation. Now that's good.
That's just constructed RSPK. That hand is still not great. Like, Marley isn't. Is it time to Marley? No, there's a Versus Seeker there. You could like Versus Seeker plus whatever you want, but I think that's You see how many tails? Double tails. We have triple tails on Lure Ball, double tails on Timer Ball. Today is not Apsyy's day. Lookers, investigations, so shuffle. Well, you'll see his opponent's hand. I think looking at that hand is pretty good because you're like, oh, so if I Mega Shot the Delcatty, you're fucked, right? So
This is true. I feel like Apsyy needs to shuffle his own hand.
yeah.
But it is tempting to shuffle in Zach's hand. But
Oh,
we do see the Holon's Electric. It does exist.
it is there. We can Mega Shot this kitty. No, the question is...
We attached this turn. We did it. The attachment's already gone on Makuhita.
Oh, really? Oh. Okay, that's fine. A disconnect here. Keep the energy in play. And now is Zach's turn. Probably wants to...
It's an energy draw and a dream.
He can paw pad back, like Stevens chooses not to.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice.
That Mighty Anna is a nasty draw. Like, that harass is doing like 60 damage here. That is kind of nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I can't imagine Apsyy's happy about that, considering he knew what Zach's hand was, and under item lock has managed to find the Mighty Anna.
That's pretty lucky by Zach, but again, Mighty Anna has weakness to fighting. It's not the end of the world for Apsyy.
True.
He can also like try to put down a cessation Carstone right now and keep it in play for many turns because he is doing some disconnect locks, and if he can promote the Hariyama EX, he can keep the lock going.
I wonder if the play is to
Mega Shot the Delcatty.
Mega Shot the Delcatty and then find a way into Hariyama next turn for the knockout on the Mighty Anna.
I like it. Like, if you attach Holland's Electro and jump the Lightning back, you can keep the fire in the Manectric after the Mega Shot. That's pretty good. Sinlin gets back. There's not a lot of great supporters to get back, but I guess Lookers is always like a fine option. Oh, yes, of course. Giovanni's scheme. Mighty Anna's weakness is plus 20.
We do see a normal pitched. No out to Hariyama though, so this is awkward. I mean, your other play is to disconnect and then take the knockout on a Mighty Anna next turn with Giovanni's empowered Makihita. It's not really what you want to do, but...
Well, it doesn't even work, does it? Because it only hits for 60.
10 plus 20 plus 20 is 50, and then the 40 from the disconnect would be 90.
Oh,
we're
yeah,
not
yeah.
seeing the Mega Shot, we're seeing the disconnect.
Okay. But is it
crazy for thinking Mega Shot might have been really good here?
No, I think Mega Shot on the Delcatty is like, it makes sense to play like this because Curstone, and now your plan is to actually tempo, no more like promote Yuxi and wait 3 turns until you do something. Your plan is to actually like play the Curstone, lock it in play, and do something with it. We're putting pressure on the Mighty Anna. If we can draw next turn, maybe we Yuxi, draw into more guys. Ooh, Kukui, but Kukui is not great right now because you don't really want to use the resource, but you kind of also want to draw cards. Zach has a dive ball. He can dive ball for second Celio.
He is item locked right now, so
Oh, he can't. Yeah, you're
it
right.
would be the turn after.
He
Do you
can.
see the mighty in it? The electric go down. So what do you promote here? Like, is it Makihita Giovanni scheme? Because that feels really bad. Like, there's
Normal.
no there's no follow up attack.
I mean, if you can play your hand down and try to dig into one of your Hariyamas, I think it's worth just doing that. You can also try to dig for your Magma's Camerupt and get the 50 damage that way. Preserves 1 energy. It's not in the discard. So in the discard we have a Timer Ball and a Calm. In the deck we have a singular Heavy Ball that gets one of the Hariyama. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are supporters as well, but you know. Promote the Lapras. Oh my god.
This is awkward. I mean, you can always try and use the Lapras. Your
Yeah.
top deck looks good, I guess.
So he commits to the Numel. Plays a Numel. Then Yuxi for 3?
The awkward bit is, yeah.
The awkward bit is everything. Everything in this game is quite awkward. For 2, that's not a lot. And your Curson is going to kill your Yuxi. And nothing. Do we... No, we can't Mewtwo into the Lapras and then attach and for 30. That is not the play.
You could Giovanni's for the knockout. With the Lapras.
I guess, but... Oh, that's too late, because we are...
It's too late.
We're
Alright, so
not doing anything.
There's a way to get into Hariyama next turn at least. But it's giving Zach so much time is the problem.
Yeah, we have the perfect like temple turn, and there's no way to do it.
This Uxi's also going to be taking Curse Stone damage, so if Curse Stone is not dealt with, Lapras and Uxie are dead, and then Zach only needs 2 more prize cards, which is going to be really tough.
Yeah. Few water arrows and 1 ice throw, and that's game. I really like when Apsyy I really don't like when Apsyy passes the turns without attacking. That deck is not made for that. Even like a back burner would have been great.
So we see a dive ball coming through. What is this getting? Probably another Celio. Or perhaps, yeah, there's the Celio.
Zach is not in a rush specifically. He just wants to develop, and
it's a shame. Zach's probably wishing he had room for the Mantine on his bench. Although with the Curse Stone, maybe not.
Maybe not, yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. It's definitely an uphill battle for Apsyy from here on out.
Maybe I like the... No, oh, yeah. Before... I think if you promote the Celio and start water arrowing the bench, I think that pretty much seals the game. It's the same thing as the camera up the last game. Like, you ignore the active, you let Curse Stone do its thing, and you start arrowing whatever needs to be arrowed. We're doing...
with the Lorraine X.
Yeah, but we're not doing that for right now. We did go for Power Circ, Evolve, just to stop the bleeding from Curse Stone, I imagine.
I'd imagine it's just a harass knockout.
Yeah.
Is this a scientist for 1 card? Yes, it is.
Sure is.
So harass takes the knockout. Apsyy comes in
For 3
with
cards.
probably a camera up at this point. Try and get some value. Maybe with a flame wheel. Flame ball.
Yeah, it's you can like do some cool math with split bomb, but I think that ship has sailed.
Unless you Giovanni's and then you split bomb the Mightyena and the Delcatty, and then the Curstone would take the knockout on the Delcatty between turns. Oh, but you can't get the split bomb.
I think
And
that's not even
Giovanni's.
necessary, right? Because like, the curse stone is just sticking.
Although with the twins in Zach's hand, he will be able to find a stadium bump unless Apsyy gets the Hariyama.
Yeah, even if you get him a Hariyama, you can escape rope the Hariyama away and then bump the
Mm.
stadium. Even give her a treat to like fuel.
Because all that damage on the Delcatty is meaningless if you can't get the knockout.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Which might be a decent enough reason to split bomb it later, or like maybe split. Yeah, I think split bomb later because 30 damage helps put everything into range anyway. Well, no, Zach can twins. Twins is not teammates.
Ah, yes, you're right. You can't twins.
Yeah,
You're right.
so
Hmm.
I like so yeah, if well, anyway, FC doesn't know the twins is in hand, so I think the push off, knockoff.
Apsyy probably feels a lot safer now that the Celio with 2 water energy has evolved because Zach can't just Walrein EX next turn. Like this Hariyama's not gonna be knocked out.
Yeah.
Let's see what the knockoff hits. It is Palpad.
Ooh, Pawpad is a good hit.
And then the Celio will be promoted. Let's see what Zach does. No energy to energy draw currently, so may have to Kukui. Might be a power circ into Kukui to guarantee an energy for your energy draw.
Here's the big one, but like this is not the time to evolve into our EX. It's so awkward because like if you play your Mantine, it's gonna go down so fast. It's like a free prize basically. If you don't draw your stadium. Oh yeah, that helps.
At this point, Zach may want the Curstone to stay in play to get the knockout on the Uxie. Because then it's just this Hariyama EX, and then that's game for Zach.
Yeah, I mean he still has to play around either AZ or Briny.
So this is a driving howl coming through. Apsyy choosing to promote the Uxie.
The right promotion because it's gonna die anyway.
Although if Zach doesn't take the knockout,
You just Briny it.
Apsyy could, Briny. That would be really good actually.
You kind of save two things at once. But it's such an awkward
There are
game.
only 7 minutes left on the round, so
Yeah.
what are the time procedures?
It's top cut rules, so the player with the least amount of prizes wins. After the time is called, and then 3 turns are played.
Okay.
Oh, we do evolve into Warring EX.
Is this for a water arrow?
But that is dead. That card is dead.
Well, the thing is maybe Zach's hoping Apsyy doesn't have a way to retreat the Uxie. But we know he's got the Briny.
Such an awkward game being played.
There is a float stone, so this could just be a retreat. Into what though? Nope. Looks like a water arrow.
Or not.
Looks like a power blow. Power blow for knockout. Yes. that is a knockout between turns. And that is scary. But it's not
Uh,
easy for... That Warring EX will not be powered up next turn, so it's not that scary, actually.
yeah, because of the rescue. I mean, there's a world where it could with the right
So
amount of luck and rare candy and draws and whatever, but
this has to be a knockoff. I'd imagine.
no, if
Let
you
me
knock
think.
off, yeah, this can be a knockoff, but it's also can be a split bomb, but which I don't know if that's the right play or not.
Split Bomb is in the discard pile. So there's no easy way to
Oh,
get
it's
to
in the
it.
discard. Okay. Oh yeah, there's also that. This thing hits for 100.
Hmm.
We can use that to hit for 120 if necessary. Just like stop committing energy and just commit when it's 100% necessary, or we evolve anyway. Dive ball, not dive ball, dual ball. We're seeing some absolutely awful coin flip luck for Apsyy, but he recovers everything with this very important dual ball for nothing, I guess. Maybe he gets like a
Yes.
nominal. Does he play 3? I guess electric. Sure. Not very useful right now. He does have 1 energy to attach or 2 engineers, but if you engineer and don't draw another energy, you're in a bad spot. Is not using any supporter the right play? Maybe, yeah, he looked at the deck, so he has some calculations of like how many energy do I have in my deck. Using the engineer, I feel like he has a lot, so yeah, he goes for it. Hits a few. Ooh, Olympia is really good here.
Hmm.
You can move the Hariyama next turn if it lives.
I am surprised that Apsy evolved into that camera already.
He
So it
could
wasn't
just hold,
any.
right?
Yeah, there's no way it could be knocked out as a normal.
Well, oh yeah, any damage now from both Pokemon is reduced by 20, and it works when it's not in the active. So yes, you're right.
So we've got another knockoff coming through. What is the hit? Hopefully something good. Take a card, Apsy. Oh,
Fallen
Mentor.
Mentor. Nope.
Last game it was Bridget. This game it's Mentor. It's like, oh.
Yeah. Promotion of
And
Rory is actually important.
Delcatty. Yep. Delcatty's knocked out, so 2 prizes apiece, and
2 Yaxes in
can
the
Zach?
active, yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Zach can take the knockout this turn, though.
There's a world where he like cuckoos into like Candy Warring, and Candy Warring also doesn't take the knockout because he needs like energy. So I don't know. He needs like energy, Candy Warring. Yeah, 3 cards. How hard can that be?
Unless it's just like driving howl, knockout, escape route, knockout. No, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, the Warring's dead. Like this Warring died. If it keeps being in the active.
Probably just attach to Walrein somehow, and then retreat into Spiritium or something. Oh, I don't know.
Kukui. Yeah,
That's Kukui.
attaching the rescue earlier is like so important right now because this Kukui wins the game if the rescue is a water energy.
Yeah, that's true.
And this Kukui did nothing. Like, unfortunately, you can't attack with Mighty Energex because it just dies. So yeah,
Just dies. And there's the Spiritium. Apsy does have the Olympia, so we'll be able to preserve the energy on this mighty Hariyama, sorry.
yeah, and more
And it's
important than
possible.
that. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm saying we might see a fire spin on the Spiritomb from the camera. I feel like that kind of locks up the game, though, if you do that.
Fire spin. Yeah, because the only way to deal with that would be.
Especially with Brinies in hand.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check how long's left on the round. 50 seconds.
Oh god. Just keep an eye out on the round, and I mean, I think this game is done in time +3.
Plus 3 turns, right?
Yeah. When time is called, just tell me and I'll. If if you can do me a favor and see if there are other games being played.
There is one other match being played.
Okay, so when time is called, just tell me and then go to their chat and to tell them. I'll take care of this one.
Alright, that's time.
Okay.
I'll go and tell them.
Yeah.
Alright, so coming in for the fire spin. Hopefully, as expected. I do not want to see a lava burn. I want to see some fire.
Yeah, please kill that thing. I just
Okay.
want things to die.
Feel like Apsy's got this.
Yeah, I think it's pretty impossible for Zach to win at this point.
If Zach can find
Power hand extension, maybe?
the wall, he doesn't play power. If Zach has the Crush Draw Wall Rain, he might be able to not die. Like,
yeah.
Pokemon that might knock out. But then, Zach's not taking enough. So I think
I don't know. Yeah,
I feel like Apsyy would win this game. Especially as Apsyy can like Mewtwo and Fire Spin again next turn if he has to.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he can
If he's,
Mewtwo and Giovanni's to like kill anything basically. Instead, that is not or an EX that loses the game another way. Yeah, I think Apsyy has this like almost guaranteed. Twins for the first time.
DC twins.
So yeah, after this twins.
There's the Crush Draw. It's the only Pokemon Apsyy can't one hit. But then Zach might be able to make it a tie.
No, there's no ties. We're playing no ties.
Okay, but if they have one prize each.
It's played until the next prize is taken.
Okay. Good to know. So there's the Curse Stone bump. There's the Warrain. It just has to be a retreat into Warrain. Bench Mantine. And Crush Draw. And then as long as Apsyy doesn't promote an EX, he should win.
So what were the two cards he took? Was
Warrain and High Pressure
Okay,
System.
it was Warrain. Okay. So yeah, we're accelerating. We cannot DC.
Yeah, next turn it's going to be Process, DC, Fresh Cold. I see what this was that.
It's
I think the brinies and the. I mean, actually, yeah. If that comes in with Crush Draw, Walrein, Apsy's got game right because it's just Mewtwo, Giovanni. So,
Yeah, Mewtwo, Giovanni, and Fire
so I think
Spin.
this is just game. Let's see if he sees it. Man, close games though. Really interesting match.
Yeah.
I feel like the Curse Stone definitely did a lot of work this game for
Yeah.
Apsy.
Finally, we had a game where Curse Stone did the thing.
Apsy, I feel like Apsy finally managed to stabilize his hand. Like, wasn't just trying to get energy every turn. It was the real struggle in the first two games. But this should just be game. Let's see if Apsy sees it.
Yeah, there's a space in the bench. Yeah, that's plus 20. There's no damage reduction. There's no like resistance. Where high pressure system is not low pressure system, which gives 10 more HP. So like, yeah, it's just seen the win.
But going into this, I thought Zax stood no chance with the. Wait, what's he doing? No!
He can't move specials with Mewtwo Delta. Just win the game, Apsyy! Please! Please move your energy to the active and hit 120. Like we're not missing anything, right? 120. There's nothing
we're
like
not missing any.
one. Yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Apsyy, don't.
What if he just like. If he doesn't see that, surely he just brinies and retreats into Manectric.
Yeah, discard two
Don't win the turn.
basic energy.
You're just gonna briny and palm strike? Is that the play?
Do you even brain? Do you just retreat if you don't see the win con?
I don't know.
Because you can
Let's
retreat
see.
with high pressure.
Oh, true. High pressure does
Let you
reduce camera
retreat,
retreat.
Briny deactive? He doesn't see it. Oh no. Okay.
I still think Apsy has this, but unfortunate.
It is
So yeah, it's just gonna be a palm strike, and then next turn, if Warren's, but there's no way for. He's got the Mewtwo Delta. There's no way for Apsy to retreat and power up the Hariyama EX.
20 damage. Oh god.
This is gonna come down to a sheer cold flip.
The thing we always love to see. Okay, we're seeing a driving
Interesting.
hell.
Driving hell.
Can we hit
I'm kinda
90?
I'm kind of. Ice Throw does 90 with the Icy Aura. But then that just gets knocked out by a Hariyama, so.
Yeah.
I feel like Zach's play there was to sheer cold the Hariyama. But
And yeah, Bray.
obviously we can see both hands, so. What are they gonna do? This is one hell of a set.
Incredibly long games. This just a lower car cube can produce this kind of content.
So this is turn
3. Wait, yeah. If Zach doesn't. Wait, yeah, I think Zach lost this, right? Because
It'll go down to whoever gets the next prize card. So
so the
there's
Apsyy was playing
yeah.
turn 0. Zach played 1 turn, then Apsyy didn't get the win, and then Zach is on the 3rd turn. So yeah, if Zach doesn't win now, he loses the game. If he doesn't get a knockout now, he loses the game by time rules. If he gets a knockout, Hariyama X just comes in and game over.
Well, we're gonna have to press him for a decision. Can't just
Play eternally.
be like this. Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's Zach's conceding, I'd imagine.
Game. Apsyy didn't see the win con, but he won the game anyway. And that was Curstone's just doing this thing, which it always does.
What a set.
What a set, indeed. And yeah, that was round 1 of the rewind. We are going to come back soon with round 2.